If we're talking about at their peak health, I think Patrick Mahomes is better. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are who I picked to represent the NFC coming into the season, so I certainly believe in him. I'm couching this a little bit. He is great, but if you're talking about someone who has never had a bad game, like literally in the course of his entire career, we're talking about Patrick Mahomes and that offense that they have there in Kansas City.
But that's sort of an unfair comparison if you're just going to use that as your criteria, because Rodgers has played so many more games. What is it? I just will keep asking, what does Mahomes do that Rodgers is not capable of doing?
No, we're talking about who's the best. We're saying at this point, I think Aaron Rodgers is on the downslope of his career, and Patrick Mahomes is on the upslope and is still better than Aaron Rodgers has been.
I'm not sure what it is about the last month that gives you the impression Rodgers is on the downslope of his career.
Well, I mean, he's had several mediocre to below average games up until now. The last 2 weeks have been fantastic, and he's a great
new
quarterback.
Offense, I'm telling you what, right now, Aaron Rodgers is the best player in football. Next. Our football power index says it's a 60% chance, 60-40, the Patriots make the Super Bowl this year. You got the Pats or the field to win the AFC?
Reluctantly, I have to take the Pats. The field in the AFC is not very impressive, and I think that the power index takes into account the fact that the Pats have an awful division and will most likely have a home playoff game and then have a bye, then a home playoff game, then another home playoff game, then they're in the Super Bowl. You have to win 2 home playoff games with one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, if not the greatest quarterback of all time, and possibly the greatest defense of all time. I think they're better than anybody else in the AFC right now.
Just think about that number. FPI says 60-40.
I mean, who can you imagine going into Foxborough and knocking them off?
Your friend Patrick Mahomes, I could picture doing that.
That's the only chance they have with that awful defense.
Let's see what happens this week when they see Lamar Jackson. Meanwhile, I got one more, and it involves Lamar. It involves Mahomes. The Chiefs are 5-3. They play the Vikings in a big game this week. Does Mahomes need to start for Kansas City?
I think he doesn't need to start. I think he is so good that they'll be fine when he gets back. To have him fully healthy is the most important thing that this team can have, or at least close to fully healthy as possible. And we saw that with Matt Moore, Andy Reid, and all that talent they have on offense, they're able to cobble together some offense. So it's not as if they're forfeiting this game. They could be in the game. They were in the game against the great Aaron Rodgers last week. So there's reason to believe they can be in it against Kirk Cousins.
I get it. You sort of are conceding the number 1 seed to New England, and I'm good with that. But the 2 seed is critical. No team in 8 years has made the Super Bowl having to play Wild Card Weekend.
It's in place for him to potentially start on Sunday against Minnesota. We'll see whether he actually does it. I don't think they're going to make a decision just yet. They'll certainly not publicize one right now until later in the week. But again, I think he has a chance to play on Sunday against Minnesota.
So let me come to you, because football is traditionally not a sport where we sort of sacrifice a battle to win the war. We've never really seen that. We do it in the other sports, and maybe it makes sense.
Greeny, you said the wisest thing. Concede the first-round bye to the New England Patriots. It's simple as that. If you're the Kansas City Chiefs, the Patriots are undefeated, and the Chiefs, they currently have 3 losses. So you're not going to get that home field advantage. Do the smartest thing and preserve his health. Chiefs, addition by subtraction. Take 1 step back to take leaps and bounds forward. To Schefter's point, yes, a player will want to play. You can take the shots and you can pop the pills and you can force yourself out there. We've all done it in the NFL. He's a quarterback that's on a completely different level. Get totally healthy, because to Nique's point previously, if Patrick Mahomes is healthy, the Chiefs are nearly unbeatable.
You know, the other part about this is he was nursing a high ankle sprain anyway. Exactly. So there's time to rest the ankle and the knee. But if you're healthy and he feels he's healthy and the training staff is not worried about re-injuring it and the chances of further aggravation, then you play.
Yes.
Then you play. But I don't know the chances of aggravating that injury, making it worse.
Yes, there's only one last thing to say is, in the NFL, there's a difference between being healthy and healthy enough to play. I think he's healthy enough to play, but by all means, we all know he's not very healthy. So to Schefter's point, yes, he could go out there and play because he's a tough dude, but just get healthy.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app, and for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.